Yo, 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 yo. What up? What up? ACDC in the house. The Earlverse, baby. Oh, hold on. Can't I, hmm. Wonder if there's a way to change that. Interesting. What's up? What's up, everyone? Well, you're gonna love the shirt I found at a thrift store the other day. Actually, I'll show it now. Now, this is probably the rarest Iron Maiden shirt that you can find. This is not a vintage, but when they did a tour of Miami in the mid 80s, they did some Miami Vice inspired logos. And then here's the back of the shirt. That's just no, I was at a store on Melrose that specializes in vintage rock shirts, and that shirt is so rare that I think on eBay they sell for 1,000 and up. So I would love to get one of those, but I don't think anyone's ever going to give them up. I've seen it in white before, and I think it was like $700, but it was too. Now, if something's a large back then, it's probably a medium now. So I would absolutely have to get at least an XL for it to fit. So yeah, it's a really just I'll give you one more view of the. It's very cool. Florida, 1987. So there you go. What up? What up? Can I change the name of the thread or the name of the live after? Would that help? Zoom. Connie Lingus, that is a Iron Maiden tour shirt from 1987 when they played South Miami. Okay. Maybe I'll do it again some other time. Do you believe in Allah? Only if you hit the subscribe button, Francis. I only believe in things of people who are subscribers. Thank you. Thank you, BR. I'm going to call you BR because I don't know how to say your name, to be honest with you. So we'll wait till a few more people are in here before we reveal how much a working, what are you, Huey Lewis? Hello. See what I did there? View message. I'll sub if you show your art. No, we don't. I'm not gonna do tasks. If you don't want to sub because you aren't getting value out of this, then beat it. Go to Ray DeVito's stream. Thank you, guys. What is on my leg? Nothing is on my leg. All right, we don't do the Allah talk in here. What is this? The Al Jazeera network? All of a sudden. Who knows? I don't know how much they are. As you can see, they have not been opened by me. Yes, 100%. We got some new people in here. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to have you guys. Durka. I don't know what that means. Now, come on, now, player 196. We don't do that in here. We don't. I don't know if you think You are being funny. And that's the great thing. I was letting you think I was letting you get away for it. And my sniper, William Zoom, takes you out, bitch. Am I from Pakistan? Do I look like I'm from Pakistan? I'm America for life. By the way, I'll be live streaming tomorrow at the NAMM Music Convention. So, yeah, I don't know what the purpose of that is. Like, he's not even spamming like a product or something. I'm gonna just open one up tonight. Oh, you don't want me to do the and then do it again. Oh, I see what you're saying. All right, well, since I did kind of bait you guys in, I'll do the big one maybe tomorrow night, and I'll put SAG AFTRA in that. So here's one. Oh, I almost doxed myself. Here's one paycheck. I have no idea how much this is. Tomorrow night we'll do the big SAG AFTRA reveal. All right, well, as you can see, it's come up. Bench warmers. All right, so let's see how much of the money, honey. I see I'm showing you guys the money, honey. You guys are seeing how much I got paid. Well, compared to last night's stream. Oh, sorry. A whopping $7.72, which is 100 times the amount. Oiled up. We don't do the gay talk in here. Go to the Ray DeVito stream for that. We don't. Trust me, my utilities are fine, baby doll. Didn't you see the one I showed last night for 7 cents? But then the next one could be $100. Could be $200, $300, $400, $500. But you know, when I'm getting a $7 check from the movie Benchwarmers from, was Benchwarmers 2005, I think, 2006. So that's almost 20 years ago. You ever get a gerbil stuck in your anus? Seriously, I need advice. So Dan, we don't do the gay talk in here. We don't do that in here. So I mean, the trolls are coming in tonight, but that's fine. It's all good. It's all good, babies. I don't even know what that means, Francis. Well, you know, they were on the box cover. I was not. Yeah, I mean, Predator is played constantly. I mean, I would say on TV or on cable and satellite TV, it's played probably 10 times a week, and that's for 1987. So I would say it's probably started getting on cable in '88, maybe even '87. That's almost 40 years of that. So and he was a main cast member. So yeah, we don't do the Dabbleverse talking here unless you show me the money, honey. Oh my God! I mean, he gets residuals every time you see the movie Predator. He's probably getting $5 to $10, which it doesn't sound like a lot, but for over the last almost 40 years, I mean, it adds up. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Yeah, I bet you do, Connie Lingus. I bet you do. Hey, we got 7 people in here and 7 likes. I like the numbers, baby doll. I mean, can you imagine what Rob Schneider's residuals are like? I mean, the guy's been a stand-up movie and TV star for, 40 years. So can you imagine? Let out some steam, Bennett. Or you imagine what Mark Hamill gets, Luke Skywalker. People think, oh, he was only in a couple movies. Well, when your couple movies are Star Wars 1 through 3, you're good. Um, so 999. Um, so, I mean, residuals are funny. I mean, you can imagine what Michael Richards gets. And the people wonder why he doesn't really work anymore. It's because one reason, he don't have to. Yeah, I mean, Corvette Summer what was it with Annie Potts? What up, Sudbury, home of the Sudbury Wolves? I wonder if, oh, fuck yeah, he gets residuals. I mean, they show it somewhere. I mean, that's the thing. There's, like the Ray Liotta show, Smith. In America, I think they only aired 5 of the 10 episodes, but in the UK, they aired the whole show. So some country out there showed the whole Rob show. Oh, that's cool, TB. What up, Iris? Bendo. Well, let's lay low on the fire jokes, bro. To someone who is living in the middle of them. But you look at other people, but some people get fucked over on residuals. Someone said, I think I read it in an article, that the Brady Bunch kids only got residuals on the first 5 repeats, and after that, nothing. And they probably had a shitty agent. So you'd think, wow, Peter Brady is loaded, and he should be, but he's not. Can you imagine if those kids had a good deal on residuals? I mean, the Brady Bunch has aired every fucking day for the last 60 years. I mean, obviously the people who are on Friends had a better deal, but I'm a big hockey guy, and my friend played on the Sudbury Wolves, LA Kings, legendary tough guy, Kip Brennan, but that's a while ago. Well, I don't know how Barry Williams does, but those kids really got fucked over. And I think Gilligan's Island was kind of a similar. You think the Gilligan's Island people, that show's still on at weekends on some weird channel, and they should be multi-millionaires based on the amount of times that those shows have been played, and they're not. I mean, although my dad did date Tina Louise in between my parents got divorced and then they remarried each other. So he dated Tina Louise. I mean, my dad was a good-looking dude, as was my mom. Yeah, that should be, they're not really advertising that game very much. Yeah, I mean, it just, you feel bad for them. It's like a lot of music deals. People assume Quiet Riot's loaded because their first album sold so well. Was it like 4 or 5 times platinum? Which, what up? Which back in the day was like, now it's all streams, but like if you had an album in the early 80s that sold 4 million copies, you were a fucking bona fide, success. And I think that they sold all their publishing to get the record deal out. They were broke, so they're like, yeah, just take the publishing. We just want the record out. And, I think their publishing deal got better with each record, but unfortunately for them, with each record after Metal Health, the sales plummeted. So, do you know Sybil Shepherd? I know who she is, but I don't know her. Yeah, I mean, Slade is probably the happiest because they got paid. I don't know what they still get paid. Because Come On Feel the Noise is in commercials, it's in movies and all that shit, TV shows. I think I heard it on some Netflix show. Like Rat got paid very well, probably Stephen Pearcy, because he wrote the song for the Geico commercial. He probably made more money in that Geico commercial than it did the last 10 years of Rat sales. So it's, it's all about the publishing. Yes, he was the original guitar player in Quiet Riot. Left to play in Ozzy, and then Carlos Cavazo took over, and the rest is history. Uh, yeah, the Maple Leafs are. Even this year, you could tell they're not going to win it this year. They're just, they don't have the goaltending. My buddy has a Rudy Sarzo Fender bass. Well, I'll probably see Rudy Sarzo tomorrow at NAMM. I mean, I don't think Rat will ever sell their catalog, and that band hates each other. They're always suing each other, so I think they don't want that headache, to be honest with you. But their songs, obviously Round and Round's played in a lot of things. I've heard Lay It Down and Back for More in some movies and TV shows. So I don't think that they're like bazillionaires from it, but they probably live comfortably. I mean, the guitar player Warren DeMartini, his wife, I believe, is in the Mars Candy family, like the heir to the fortune or whatever. So he don't need the money. Bobby Blotzer, the drummer, he probably needs the money the most because Piercy still tours. And like the Whiskey the other night, when I saw Piercy at the Whiskey, you couldn't put another person in that room. It was so crowded. And then Juan Crochet, the bouncing beaner on bass, he, I think, has a recording studio. So he probably makes money on that. And Piercy probably makes more money playing the Whiskey, doing a solo gig, than if he played a bigger venue with Rat, where he's got to split the money four ways. Yeah, Warren DeMartini is someone who should be a lot more known. But to be honest with you, a lot of that's his fault. It's not that he's lazy, but I think that he's just unmotivated. Like, I'm sure if, Rat was offered the opening gig for Metallica, which they probably wouldn't, that doesn't really fit with Metallica, he would do that tour. But, Piercy will pretty much do any gig if you pay him enough. And DeMartini doesn't know. So it's too bad. Yeah, NAMM, I'm looking forward to it tomorrow. I'm going there tomorrow at 10 a.m. We have to get there at 10 a.m. I'll be with Ryan Roxy, guitar player extraordinaire from Alice Cooper. If you don't mind, I don't mind any questions being asked. I don't know. I just think that he's such an enigma and so talented. I mean, he is a great songwriter for that music. And and he's versatile. Like, if you listen to the Dan Hartman band, the guy who sang "I Can Dream About You," it was it was Vinnie Vincent and G.E. Smith from Hall & Oates. I mean, that's a great duo. And then his Working Kiss, was good. It's weird. Gene and Paul and Vinnie hate each other, or whatever their feelings are, but they were good for each other. Because Vinny brought them into the 80s with the songwriting style that, Gene and Paul just didn't have. And with a playing style that Kiss never had with Ace. I mean, I don't think Kiss survives if Ace is their guitar player in the 80s, because he was not like any of the guitar players who were hot at the time. George Lynch, Jakey Lee, DeMartini, Robin Crosby, Yngwie Malmsteen, Adrian Smith, etc. Glenn Tipton, KK Downing. So, and the Vinnie Vincent Invasion stuff, they did have some melodic songs, but the soloing was like out of control. But that's because Vinnie was in charge, so he really had no constraints on him. But if you listen on that second Invasion album, That Time of Year, that's a great song. And if you listen to the guitar solo, it totally fits the song. So I don't know. I'm just intrigued by him. Just the guy's literally gone, the guy's gone nuts. And when you look at, some of his off-stage stuff, his first wife's a prostitute. She's found butchered to death. The dead dogs in Tupperware containers just stacked in his home. I mean, that's some mental psychosis there. So, he's just such an intriguing personality. What about Bruce Kulick? I mean, Bruce is like the ultimate, safe bet to be in any band. He doesn't drink, he doesn't party, he's a great guitar player. No one denies that. And he just, he'll show up and do the job. You want a 3-minute solo, he will give you a 2-minute and 59 and 0.9 second solo. Vinny would give you a 7-minute solo. Favorite Canadian band? Well, Bryan Adams, I guess. Yeah, Andy Taylor, great guitar player. Russian Triumph were awesome. Yeah, I mean, Vinny is just, he's just intriguing to me. And he saved Kiss. Lick It Up was a big album for them because if you look at Kiss, they really popped big with the Disco album, but Disco died the next year, so they put out Unmasked, which was basically a Cars album. That didn't do great in America. The Elder, they didn't even tour for that album because it did so poorly. And then Creatures of the Night deserved better because it's a great rock album. So Kiss in America was really fucked. And then Vinny came in, and I think he co-wrote, which probably means he wrote 8 of the 10 songs on Lick It Up. And that sound and the guitar work saved Kiss. And then, I can't say Mark St. John carried the torch because he wasn't there that long, but Mark St. John, Animalize is a great sounding guitar album. I mean, the songs don't necessarily hold up when you got Gene Simmons talking about bend over and let me put my log in your fireplace. But do you think Blue Eyes are the mark? Wait, what? Do you think Blue Eyes are the mark given to Kane? I don't know. Animalize was a great album, guitar sounding. I mean, it fit the era. And you had Desmond Child writing a few songs, and Mark St. John was exactly what Kiss needed. In terms of Vinny, was just too out of control. I mean, he was kicked out of the band like 3 times. But it was kind of a shitty time for Mark to be in the band because Gene was off doing, I think, Miami Vice and Runaway. So, he wasn't really there to give feedback. And then Paul was kind of on vacation and just phoning in to the engineer to tell Mark what to do. So Mark a lot of times said in an interview, it was just him and the sound engineer in there. I can't say he wasn't the right choice for the band. A lot of people say he wasn't, but when Grover Jackson, creator of Jackson guitars, the Flying V, the reverse neck that Robin Crosby used, when he calls up Gene and Paul and says, "This is the guy," he's the guy. Mark probably was just too good technically to be in the band. Kiss was never like a virtuoso type band. Rock and Roll Over, great album. The solo albums were, that's a whole different, I would say Paul's was the best Kiss album. I think Gene's was the worst from the standpoint of just, hey, look at how many celebrities I can get to play guitar. Joe Perry and all that. Although I did like that song Radioactive. Ace had the only hit, which was a cover of Russ Ballard's New York Groove. And Peters was probably the most honest, a jazz-based sound. But Kiss fans don't want to listen to that shit. So what they should have done is just put out one album, and each member got 4 songs. That's a 16-song album, or 3 songs. It's a 12-song album, and then you just that would have been a great album. But it's kind of a scam back then. The rumor was they all went platinum the same day, but they really didn't. they shipped platinum, but there was a lot of unsold records in stores. Release Comet was good. I mean, that's a great band. I mean, you had Anton Fig on drums, and then when he couldn't do the one album, Jamie Oldacre from Eric Clapton's band filled in. John Regan, great bass player. Todd Howarth, great guitar player. I can't say those albums hold up, but that was a great band. Yeah, I mean, Tragically Hip, great band as well. But and then you had Bruce Kulick come in, and Bruce, like I said, and I mean this as a compliment. It's not an insult, but Bruce is a great yes man. What do you want, Gene? Okay, done, and it's done in one take. Paul, what do you need? Done, one take. Hey, Bruce, Gene's not here today. Can you play bass on this song? Yep, done, one take. I love Steel Panther. I saw Steel Panther one time in concert with, let's just say someone, we don't mention their name on this stream, because she knows them, and unbelievable. They had a great shirt called Pussy Melter, and that was sold out. Yeah, you're right, Clear Skies. I'm kind of psyched that I don't know if I'd say Clapton's overrated. He might be overexposed. Oh yeah, 100% on the Tommy Thayer part. But that's what. Well, it's funny. I think I went to school with his son, Damon, either his son or maybe nephew, Damon Tedesco, who's also in the music business, Notre Dame High, class of '86. But Tommy, my ex-girlfriend Shelley used to manage him in the Kiss tribute band Cold Gin. And that's how he got the gig. They were looking, Ace was unreliable early on and in the reunion tour. And I mean, I think the first time they played a concert for the reunion tour was the K-Rock Weenie Roast. And Ace wasn't there. So they literally had Tommy dressed as Ace. And then wherever Ace was, they got a helicopter to fly him in. And it's funny, they say that Ace walked by Tommy Thayer and Macomb and goes, "Hey, can you get me some coffee?" So, I mean, I didn't really like Tommy Thayer doing a solo at the last Kiss concert I went to. It's like, he's a great guitar player. I mean, and he does mimic the Ace style very well, but I mean, I would have rather heard another song or something. So yeah, I don't know what relation Tommy is to Damon. I don't know if that's his father. I would assume maybe uncle. But yeah, Damon Tedesco. He was a very talented musician in high school. I went to high school with the drummer from Jane's Addiction, the great Stephen Perkins, but he was a senior, I think, when I was a freshman. So that's cool. I think the funniest thing I ever seen at a cover band type situation was it was an AC/DC tribute band. I think it was called AC/DC, and it was like they were girls, but the drummer was a man. And I kept looking at the drummer going, I know this guy. And he was Chris Slade, the drummer from AC/DC. I'm like, this guy's going about it the wrong way. You don't go from a band to an actual tribute record. $1978, good year for Kiss. I believe that was when Double Platinum came out. Oh, that's cool. I mean, Notre Dame has some interesting celebrities. Notre Dame High and Sherman Oaks. I mean, Remy Malek, Nigel McGill, the Nigerian-born basketball player, Tim Foley for the older kids in the room, the shortstop for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think who's a Dominican? What was his name? I think he played on the Yankees. Like he had a big fucking contract of note, Santiago or something. And then I think someone from Quiet Riot went to someone's family member of Quiet Riot went to my school because I remember seeing Carlos Cavazo pick up like a freshman in his like Carmen Gia. I'm like, that's Carlos Cavazo. Um, oh, thank you, Claire Skies. Is that Australian 299? Support for the best regular live. I appreciate the kind words, brother. Um, Trump is on the warpath, baby. He's not fucking around. Like, I'll give him this. So he does what he says. But that judge today didn't agree with what he says. Morning Wood. That's pretty funny. Thank you, Clear Skies. Are you Australia? Is that, am I reading that correctly? AS, I'm assuming, or isn't Australia AU? I don't know if I'd say I'm the best live, but, I'm a nice diversion from the steel toe talk. Oh, that's cool. The tariffs, I think if I understand them correctly, yes, we'll be getting money from tariffs, but they'll also be raising their prices. So, I'm not going to jump on Trump yet. He's only been in office a couple days, but, he's got a lot of shit to clean up. We'll see what happens. But by the way, this Saturday night I'll be at the Comedy Store at 12:15 in the usual Kinnison, Brody, Tripoli, Holtzman spot. I don't mind. Listen, I do like his stance on getting illegals out, and I don't mind them being here. Just be here legally. Like, you think if we went to Russia, we could just go there? Think if we went to China, we could just like set up shop and not worry about being a citizen there? I don't think it's that fucking much to ask someone to be a legal citizen here. And I'm not like a Trumper, but like I do like how he's like, no, we're gonna get you. We're gonna come find you guys. Now, I don't know how realistic it is that he's gonna get them all out, but we'll see what happens, baby. Oilers, Edmonton Oilers, Houston Oilers, Tulsa Oilers. Please identify yourself, said Barry. I assume you mean the Edmonton Oilers. Did you ever hit up Club M in Canoga Park? I didn't really hit Canoga. The only tie I have with Canoga Park is early on in my stand-up career, I would do the Canoga Park Bowl every Tuesday night. And it was awesome. Rerun from What's Happening was the house MC. That's like, my God, you talk about sadness. Like, this guy was a huge TV star. Now he's hosting an open mic for $50 and couldn't even get off the stage. Like, he was so fat that my friend Jason Galern, very funny comic, had to help him get off the stage. And then I stopped going to the Canoga Park Bowl when the security guard was killed there one night. He's just a friendly black dude. And to be honest with you, I don't even think he worked at the fucking bowling alley. He just loved being around the comics. So he would clean up so he could listen to the show. And I guess one night there's an Armenian, Brown Power gang who that particular night, they had a initiation of you have to kill a black person, and James was just taking out the trash, and what happened. I never have. The only thing I know about Slovenia is Anze Kopitar is from there. Yes, the Sugar Pimp Dorsey in Vice Squad. One of the great. You want a good B movie, and I'm not necessarily saying it stands up, but 1982, starring Gary Swanson, Season Hubley, and the villainous Wings Hauser as Ramrod, the sadistic pimp, and Nina Blackwood, who I co-owned an Alaskan Malamute with, um, in the movie Vice Squad, directed by Gary Sherman. You know, real low budget. It's in that vein of the movie Angel, you know, with Donna Wilkes. Very, you know, no budget, everything filmed at night because it was cheaper. You got this feeling that they didn't even have permits for some of these scenes, but a great, you know, I'm not saying the movie should have done better because it was a B movie, but you know, Wings Hauser's like the De Niro of B movie actors. But that is a very good movie. Yeah, I mean, I've tried to get Wings Hauser on the podcast, you know, but he's not, you know, he's in that vein of actors who just aren't really on social media. I mean, every now and then you get an outlier like Robert Davi, who's very active on social media, but you know, it's you don't really. You know, like it's a miracle I got the bad guy from Superman 2 to come to my home. Like he was not savvy on social media. So I think at one point he was living on a houseboat in Marina Del Rey. I mean, I know he used to go on Howard Stern a fair amount. Um, but I mean, I think I don't even know if he acts anymore. I mean, he was really good in The Insider. That movie with Russell Crowe, but that's really the last thing I remember seeing him in, and that's got to be 20 years ago. You talk about a guy who gets residuals. I mean, Wings Hauser's been a working actor since 1980, maybe even before that. So, same thing with a guy like John Glover. I mean, these guys. I mean, John Glover's been a working actor since Mr. Goodbar. So, all this inside Hollywood talk. I gotta go. And I'll see you later, Chief. Yeah, I mean Robert Davi seems to really something really made him go hardcore right. I don't recall him ever really being this aggressively right wing, but you know, what are you gonna do? Who am I to sit here and say what kind of music or what kind of political takes he should have? I mean, he comes off a little unhinged, to be honest with you. But he just did follow me on X, so there you go. We're going to do that tomorrow night. I meant to put in the description SAG AFTRA, and since I didn't, it just says Earl Skakel is live. Where does a Hollywood actor actually get paid? Here's the one I opened up for tonight. See, I'm showing you guys the money, honey. No, I don't imagine anyone's gathering around any entertainment device listening to Gringo Poppy. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who think Gringo Poppy was the greatest stand-up special of all time. So, you know, who am I to say to them it's not? You know? That's just the great thing about comedy. It is subjective, and you know, who am I to sit there and tell you what you guys think should be funny? Open up. All right, I'll open up one more for Brian McClure. But no more after this. No more. So tomorrow night, we'll open up these with the proper description. Let me turn the light on here. See, it's hermetically sealed. All the paperwork over here. Now I can already see that this is from I'm Dying up here. I have not looked at the amount. So the rest of the checks will be open tomorrow. 13 cents. Isn't that crazy? 13 fucking cents. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, tomorrow might be a big day in the streaming history. Definitely going to put Earl Skakel live at NAMM. Do you have enough money for an 8-ball yet? Well, let me see. What did I make in the first check? Hold on here. We got 772. So that would be $7.85. So unless the prices have gone down for the booger sugar, I do not have enough money for an 8-ball. Well, actually, and the $1.89 I got in the super chat. It's after taxes. And plus the $1.89, you take out the 30% of that YouTube takes, and I'm struggling, guys. I'm struggling. Hit the like and subscribe button. What the fuck? I mean, it's the paper it's printed on is probably more. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine what Seinfeld gets? I mean, that show's on the air. Or Lorne Michaels. Can you imagine what Lorne Michaels gets? 50 plus years of SNL checks every fucking, and all the movies he produced. I got that. I don't have fuck you money. I have fuck off money. You should have learned Hollywood and gone to politics. Yeah, I mean, I don't have that many skeletons, but I know how that works. They'd contact every ex-girlfriend. Did he ever hit you? Did he ever do this? And I've never hit a woman, but like, how was the breakup? Why'd you guys break up? I mean, they're animals. I mean, I remember when my dad was dying, toward the end of his life, he had some idiot named Jerry Oppenheimer interview him for a book about Ethel, and I was basically on the phone. I was right next to my dad in case he needed my help, and he totally lied to my parents, and they were both on their way out. Oh yeah, this book's going to be real good. I'm going to paint Ethel in a different light, and you're going to really like what I do. And it was a total slam piece. Chicken Man Brennan in the house. Could you imagine my bro KB at the SNL 50th party? I can't. No, Oppenheimer, Jerry Oppenheimer. He's like kind of like Kitty Kelly. He does like unauthorized biographies, and he did not paint my aunt Ethel in a great way. I can just assure you of that much. Yeah, Mr. Skakel, do you know a girl named Cynthia Shelby? No, I've never heard of her. Well, we've got 400 hours of you talking about her on various podcasts. Oh, I didn't think anyone was listening to those. Next question. I'd be worse than Pete Hetzkitz. Uncle Daddy. All right. Well, congratulations. Yes, you must eat Hershey bars. Boy, was she a hose beast. Did you say Kleinman or Mosley? Mary Kleinman, great girl. And that guy was Dean Devlin, who went on to be like a huge producer, the liquor store clerk in the wildlife. He did like Godzilla and stuff like that. So that's kind of funny. The wildlife, just, isn't it weird how like Fast Times becomes this cultural icon hit? And I mean, arguably, you could argue that The Wildlife had a better cast, and it's really the same movie, teenage angst in high school, and one movie's a huge hit, and the other movie was just kind of a cult hit, I guess you'd call it. Dean Devlin. Dean Devlin's like, can you imagine Independence Day, Godzilla? Like, I mean, he's been a working actor, but a more successful producer. Mr. Skakel, can you tell us about the Dean 15 parties at the famous Comedy Store during the dark days? I could even tell you about the parties up at Mini Dean's house, up in the hills, baby. Yeah, I mean, I think wildlife, it's an amazing cast. It just didn't hit like Fast Times did. And the cast is amazing, but that's Hollywood. Why did 52 Pickup kind of bomb at the box office, and a year later, Fatal Attraction comes out, and it's essentially the same plot. A married guy getting blackmailed, and Fatal Attraction just fucking blew up. Although I did see a documentary on Netflix many years ago about Canon Films, which 52 Pickup was made by, and they basically said um, that any movie that Chuck Norris wasn't in didn't get promoted. Because, look at the 52 Pickup cast. We're talking about the wildlife. Look at 52 Pickup. You got Roy Scheider, Anne Margaret, John Glover, Clarence Williams III, Robert Trevor, Vanity. Not that Vanity was like a huge star, but it just didn't pop. But it was also basically a movie about a snuff film, so maybe the material was too dark. But John Frankenheimer directing, Elmore Leonard novel. It had all the hallmarks for a big movie, but just didn't pop. It's like I'm dying up here, I'm close to the bone on that one, but that's a TV show that, had so much potential to go on for, 10 seasons, because you could have really gotten into every era of comedy, from 70s comedy to the boom in the 80s to the death in the 90s to, the resurgence of the 2000s to modern day. You have, I'm not saying you could have done a full season on like Matt Rife, but you could have gone from George Carlin to Matt Rife, and everything in between. That's like anywhere from 5 to 10 seasons, but Dressed to Kill is that opening scene where she's getting pounded after the shower scene. What up, Kip Smith and Zoom in the house? Well, I think 52 Pickup, I do remember commercials for it. Are you talking about the wildlife? So, but I still think that, I think Roy Scheider's on par with Michael Douglas as an actor. I think Anne Margaret, what up, Radio Robots? Who will be the Steelers? I don't know. I saw, what's the black quarterback on Buffalo? I was saying, I think he's like the backup. Someone was saying they might make a play for him. The great thing about Russell Wilson this year was Denver was paying for him. Next year, we got to pay for him. And Fields, I thought, kind of got the shit end of the stick. They were 4-2 with Fields. It's not like he wasn't doing well. But, we'll see what happens. It's, I don't know. De Niro's like really gone downhill the last decade, but you can never take Taxi Driver or Heat or many of the other great, Deer Hunter. Man, he had a nice run. Roy Scheider had a nice run in the. Is that? Yeah, I forget. Hopefully, Pittsburgh takes Lamar Jackson. Is he a free agent this year? That would be huge. But you also got to figure out what to do with George Pickens. If you keep him around, they have him for one more year, but do you want that shit hanging over the team for one more year? So, that's. It's going to be a very interesting offseason. And I think the Steelers draft at 21 this year, so you're not going to get an elite player there. I don't know what free agent quarterbacks there are out there. But, that's a tough one, to who to blame on that interception in the Super Bowl, because the receiver could have come in a little more. That's the thing, it's like I'm a Steeler fan, so I know the history. Neil O'Donnell gets blamed for that I think who was it? Larry Brown intercepted the ball and ran it back for a TD, but the receiver ran the wrong route. So on paper, it looks like, I mean, the quarterback always looks like the bad guy in an interception. But there's many walls that break down before that interception takes place. If the quarterback's under pressure, that's on the offensive line or the running back who didn't pick up the blitz. And then it's on the receiver to look back and see, hey, the quarterback's in trouble. I got to come back to the ball or certainly run at least the right route. So a lot of times it's the quarterback is the least to blame. Now, the other interception he threw in that Super Bowl was probably his fault. It was just a bad pass. But Peter Chicken Man Brennan, Nasty Neil, Neil O'Donnell, Neil Brennan. I mean, you're on top of it, Chicken Man. So Richard Sherman was right there. But I mean, I'm just saying the the receiver could have, if the receiver runs in just inches in than he did, that's a touchdown. So Brown and then the Raiders signed him to a huge free agent contract. Are you talking about Antonio Brown? I mean, that's another fucking just a guy who probably could have been the greatest receiver of all time, and now what's he remembered for? His great ability as a receiver or his wackiness? I mean, when Tom Brady brings you in and you lose your mind, you're an idiot. I mean, no, Iron Eagle is the one with Jason Gedrick. And Tim Thomerson, Comedy Store paid regular. And Louis Gossett Jr., star of the Iron Eagle video by King Cobra, Never Say Die. Who was Ponyboying the Outsiders? Was it Ralph Macchio? Hello, Sikani with an old school joke book joke there. So I'm only here so I don't get fired. Fine. Probably both. Yes, Jason Gedrick was not in the. He probably auditioned for it though. It checks out his age. Tim Tomlinson, Taylor Tomlinson. I think it's Tim Thomerson, Thomerson. I know him mainly as the secondary helicopter pilot to Harold Sylvester in Uncommon Valor. Thank you very much. Now, C. Thomas was in Side Out. Now, that's a guilty pleasure movie. Trust me on that one. We're going to do another 5 minutes, guys. Okay, Earl, who makes it to the Super Bowl? I mean, probably Kansas City and, I don't know. I mean, NFC is kind of wide open, to be honest with you. My next show, Catherine, is Saturday night at the Comedy Store. How far from you? I mean, I'm very far from where Kobe's helicopter went down. I'm basically in West LA, Beverly Hills, Hollywood, and that I think went down in like Calabasas or something. So, I mean, that's going to be a great game. I mean, listen, it's anyone's ball game. I mean, Buffalo certainly knows how to play in cold weather. So, it's basically who has the better game. I mean, you talk about a game that will be decided by what quarterback plays the best or what quarterback fucks up the least. Did you look at the fire damage today? Now, it's too overwhelming for me, man. I really don't. I mean, I'm just very lucky to be in a part of town that doesn't have a lot of fire damage. Yeah, I mean, C. Thomas Howell is, he's a guy, thank you, William, for that. He's, you talk about residual checks. I mean, if I'm getting this many residual checks a month, can you imagine what C. Thomas Howell is getting? A working actor of, I would say, probably since The Outsiders and Secret Admirer to Animal Kingdom. So that's, 35 years worth of checks. So he making the money, honey. So, and by the way, tomorrow night we will be doing the big reveal of how much I get paid. I might have to take a nap after NAM. You know, NAM is all the way in Anaheim, so that is a kind of a haul and a pain in the ass with the traffic that I will be incurring. But I will be with Ryan Roxy, guitar player extraordinaire, and Kip Smith in the house with William Zoom, the best. I mean, Washington, you know, listen, that's the great thing about football is your team can win because they just have to win one game. You think Josh Nasser almost voted himself during the TikTok ban? He was close, no doubt about it. DeMartini probably will be there. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Kevin Nash does quite well. NAM, I will be there at 10:30 in the morning, probably till about 2. I'm not going to stream all 4 hours, but I will stream for at least an hour. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Cliff Howard's been a working actor since the 70s. Yes, we do get the same 20 people in here. And that's the goal, is to get another 20 people newer to the stream in here. I don't even say hit the like and subscribe button anymore because you guys, I think, have all subscribed. Yeah, I mean, you know, Kevin Nash is not going to win any Best Actor awards. That's a fact, Jack. Definitely a friend of Bill, I can just tell. Con man, you're losing me on that one. I don't know what you mean by that. I made my bet in May, 200-1 odds. That's great. Do you think Trump's America wants to see 2 black quarterbacks compete in the Super Bowl? Probably not. Probably not. He probably wants Phil Simms to come back. So once again, thank you to Kip Smith and William Zoom for the moderating duties. Joe Estevez, isn't that the guy who? No, that's Joe Esposito who did "You're the Best Around." Nothing's gonna. You mean who's the guy who was the cop? Hector Elizondo. I mean, he'd probably make some fat checks. I call him. You got to come up with some new material, man. New material, baby doll. Emilio Estevez. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine that? Like Stallone. Like, yes, he gets $12 million a film or whatever he makes, but can you imagine just the straight up residual checks he gets? Wowzer. So good for them. I don't hate. Do you do your lives earlier for the Eastern audience? You know, I might. Thank you, Gollum. I'm just fucking around with you. Yeah, tonight I was a little busy, so you know, I'm gonna, you know, maybe. I mean, tomorrow night will be a little hectic because, you know, I'll be in Anaheim all day, and so I probably will take a nap. So I'll probably stream tomorrow night around this time, unfortunately. But yeah, he gets publishing checks. He gets probably, I mean, just on his straight acting residual checks, probably 100,000 a month. Earl, the name for your video was off, so I didn't think it was alive. Oh, shout out Lois. Artie Lang says he gets so much. Yeah, I mean, you know, you do. I mean, I make a decent living off of the jellies, couple $100 a month. Good for you. Before you hit the shit, hit the subscribe button, baby. All right, you guys, 24 people in here, 24 likes. I do appreciate that. 24 is one of my favorite TV shows, so it's probably a good time to end it. But please like and subscribe if you have not done so already. And we will see you tomorrow night live from NAM. And that's going to be, I'll probably start streaming from NAM about 11:30 to noon my time. And then I'll come back, take a little bit of a nap, and then stream again. So yeah, Alicia Cuthbert was hot. I'm gonna pick up a Vinnie Vincent pink Flying V for you guys tomorrow. Earl Skakel, over and out.